Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 15 from Marvel Comics. So in the last issue, Harry Osborn was killed. He was shot in the head. Whether he's actually dead or not, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that he's not because Mysterio was there. So my belief is that it was an illusion. But as far as Peter knows, Harry is dead. And so in the last issue, Peter told MJ that they had to get out of there. They had to get out of New York. They had to go someplace and hide low. And so we start off this issue where they are hiding out in the mountains, in the desert. And they're just like living in a trailer park. And this is like just them on quote unquote vacation, but they're basically just hiding low for a while. And I just love the dynamic between Peter and MJ. That's one of my favorite things about this series is the family relationship, which is so funny because Marvel has like a hate boner for putting these two together. There's recently been articles about how Peter and MJ will never get back together. They can be friends and stuff, but they'll never be married or anything because that's not what the fans really want. Despite the fact that no, that's actually what the fans want. There's a reason this is like the #1 selling comic in the world. It's because this is what the fans really, really want. But yeah, we just have them out in the park and we see one of the friendly neighbors showing up and his name is Dave. And Dave seems to, I don't know if I want to say he's like a conspiracy theorist, but he's one of those that kind of believes that there's UFOs and that the government is hiding them. He's a really nice dude though. Like he's always making coffee for the Parkers and things like that. And he basically asks them like, "Hey, what are you guys doing today?" And May basically says that they are going to go check out some rocks. Well, they've checked out a bunch of rocks before, and now they're going to go check out one of the arches. And that seems to trigger something in Dave. He's like, "Which one?" Peter's like, I don't know, maybe one of the lesser ones, like in the middle of the desert, like 40 miles from here." Dave's like, "Don't go there." And Peter's like, "Why? Is it like UFOs?" Because every other place they went to is like a place that Dave says has a lot of UFO activity. He's like, "No, nobody knows what's going on there. There's weird sounds. The earth is moving. It's an abandoned military base, but it's not safe. People have disappeared there. Not like lost time, abducted, experimentations. I mean, disappeared for real." So kind of basically like, hey, like I know it can be a little thing about the whole UFO thing, but this is like legit. People have gone missing. And Peter's like, "Well, that sounds ominous. People disappearing for real. They could be in danger." And I love this about Mary Jane. Her exact reaction to it is, they might need help or something. Maybe someone should take a look while looking at Peter. Basically, like giving them a hint, like, "Hey, you want to be a hero?" And earlier he was saying how he was feeling bad about how he was running away from New York. And that, he's supposed to be a hero. He's supposed to be protecting people. And MJ said, "Yeah, you are protecting people. You're protecting us. You're protecting your family." Which, good line. But I also like the fact that now that Peter's been told that, yeah, people have gone missing in this area, Mary Jane's first response is, "Hey, you want to be a hero? Maybe you should check it out." Like, basically, she is motivating him to go out there as Spider-Man and possibly go help some people. And this is a thing that people never really seem to get from Mary Jane. In the old comics, Mary Jane was like one of the first where after she found out about Peter being Spider-Man, she was 100% on board when it comes to like helping him out. Like, yeah, it terrified her, but she was always there to lend support. She was basically the support system that Peter needed to become a hero. And nowadays, modern day comics, when it comes to Mary Jane, she's the complete opposite. All she does is she just brings a bunch of baggage and drama to Peter, especially with this whole Paul situation. Again, not because of Mary Jane itself. Like, this is just straight up character assassination from Marvel. They just don't know what to do with Mary Jane. Thankfully, Jonathan Hickman does know what to do with Mary Jane. And this is the Mary Jane that a lot of us fell in love with back in the day, where she was completely supportive of Peter. So yeah, I like this moment. And then we get Richard, and Richard's hanging out on top of this giant chasm, and he's basically trying to get a signal so that he can text Felicia. So we can see that there's like this budding relationship. Right now, it seems to still be in the friendship zone, but you can tell that, at least on Richard's end, he has things for this girl, and he wants it to improve. And the way that they chat back and forth, it's, I don't necessarily say flirting, but it's kind of close to that. And unfortunately for Richard, he decides to shoot his shot, by saying, hey, maybe when I get back, we can go out or something. But it fails to send. And that's just because where he's at, the connection is kind of terrible. So he can barely even make conversation with her through text. And that's when Peter shows up in his Spider-Man outfit. And basically, he's going to do a team up with his son to go figure out what's going down in the desert and why people are disappearing. And this is another thing that I like. I will say that I wish we could have seen Peter's reaction to his son donning the AI Venom suit. It's just something that I would have loved to see. But because of the way the series is written, where every single issue takes place within a month, so like the last issue took place in February, this issue takes place in March, the next issue is going to take place in April, and so on and so forth. So because of that, like we get basically monthly time skips with every issue. But I would have liked to see, like, maybe if it was just a flashback, how Peter's reaction would have been. But I also like the fact that Peter here is willing to work with his son. He's not like going to deny his son the suit. He's not going to deny him trying to be a hero. He basically even straight up says, like, all I want to do is I want to protect you. I want to be able to protect you forever. But I know that I'm not going to be able to do that because someday you're going to grow up and I can't constantly watch over you. But I want you to take this seriously. You know what happened to Mr. Harry. You know that he's gone now. And I don't want that to happen to you either. So I am willing for you to become a hero. I'm willing for you to wear the suit. I'm willing to do this team up. I'm willing to let the suit train you. And I'll even give my input and stuff. I just want you to take this completely seriously and just really watch out. And even has a talk with the AI where he's like explaining the rules. And basically he tells the AI, okay, if anything happens, you know what to do. If you had to make a decision to save one of us, you know what to do, right? And the suit's like, yeah, I model after you. If anything happens, I need to save everybody. Peter's like, that's not what I mean. The suit's like, I know exactly what you mean. Would you ever let anything happen to him? Peter's like, no, I wouldn't. And the suit's like, then no, I wouldn't either. So even the suit's like on board. And I love the idea of the suit and the relationship between, well, him and Peter at first, but now him and Richard. He's almost kind of like a mentor in a sense. And I'm really hoping that this doesn't go into the suit becoming Venom and becoming evil. Like, I have a fear that that's going to happen at some point, but I hope it doesn't because I really love the dynamic between the suit and these two characters. And so I'm hoping we just get to see more and more and more of that. But yeah, they decide to go out and check out this military base that's been abandoned and see what's going on. And that's when they get attacked by this giant sand creature. And this is Sandman. So we get our very first appearance of Sandman in the Ultimate Universe. And Sandman just basically keeps grabbing at Peter and chucking him. And Peter is able to like use his web slinging to be okay. And every time that happens, there's this countdown. And it counts down from 3. And once it counts down to 0, it basically shocks the Sandman and keeps him from morphing temporarily. Like it kind of zaps him. He loses his powers for a moment, but then he's able to gain the powers back again. And he keeps grabbing at Peter. And it looks like he's trying to maybe use Peter as a battering ram to destroy this tower. But before he can do that, he keeps getting zapped. And it's just a thing where he keeps trying to do this over and over again and he keeps getting zapped. Eventually, Richard's like, hey, maybe we got to do something about this tower. And the AI is like, maybe, but it seems like the tower is the only thing keeping the creature at bay. Like every time it assumes its human form, it quickly gets reduced to particles because of the tower. If we destroy the tower, the creature's going to be able to go free. Is that something that we want? Richard's like, well, I don't want him to keep using my dad as a hammer. So the AI is like, all right, sounds good. And hacks into the tower and is able to get it to stop zapping Sandman. And Sandman turns into his human form and basically he's like, oh, thank God I'm back. It's been 3 years since I've been able to talk. You saved me. And he explains how basically he was a guy who had a lot of questions. He was a curious little dude. And he decided to go out and check out this military base because he's heard a lot of rumors about it. But eventually they caught him and they started doing illegal experiments to him. And eventually they were able to, they abandoned him. But not before creating this tower, which will keep the guy from being able to reform and regain his human form. And so he was trapped here. Now that the tower is gone, he's free. And yeah, it kind of seems like maybe Sandman's going to be a good guy in this. Unless this was just him being nice to trick the Parkers and then he's going to go commit crime. But that's how this little situation between the two of them ends. And then we get a little nice moment between Peter and MJ where they're just chilling out in the spider web watching the stars. And I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to spoil everything. I will say that there is an interesting little twist near the end that involves Ben Parker and William Fisk, but I won't spoil that. But I like this. I like this a lot. This is like everything that I wanted in Spider-Man. We have Spider-Man being happily married to MJ. We get to see their relationship. We get to see how supportive she is of him. We get to see them with two loving kids. We got to see Peter doing a team up with his own son. And his son is like one of my biggest things about kids in media, whether it be comics or movies or whatever, is they usually come across as very annoying. Like there are almost no times where like, a kid is just not annoying. But I like the kids here. Like Richard and May are amazing characters. I like the hell out of them, and I like to see Richard donning the Venom suit. He seems to be one of those where he's willing to listen to his dad. He's not constantly trying to one up his dad or anything like that. When he comes up with the idea of destroying the tower, he's able to work with the AI to do that. And then once the tower is destroyed, the first thing he does is he asks his dad if he's okay. And his dad's like congratulates him and stuff like, hey man, like, good job, dude. And I just like that. I don't know. I like the relationship between the two of them. I like the relationship between him and his wife, him and his kids. I like taking these characters that I know and just putting little twists in them. But the twists make them more fascinating. Maybe it's just because I've been starved of these characters with good plots for a long time because I've given up on Spider-Man after, well, I don't want to say I gave up on it after One More Day, but One More Day was pretty much like almost the final nail in the coffin. I gave it a little bit of time afterwards, and then I just dropped it. And every once in a while, I'll kind of dip back into Spider-Man, just read like an issue here or there. And it was just, everything I read was just garbage. The only reason I even picked up this issue was because I saw people posting screenshots of it on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, of him in like it was like scenes of him with his kid, with May. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. That's kind of adorable. Maybe I should check it out. And so I read the first issue and I was like, okay, this is amazing. And then I kept reading, and every issue just seems to get better than the last one. And yeah, I love the hell out of this issue. This issue was amazing. It had everything that I wanted. It had Mary Jane being supportive. It had Peter Parker being a family guy. It had him teaming up with his son. It had the introduction of the Sandman. It had a pretty cool moment with Ben Parker and J. Jonah Jameson and them meeting Mr. Fisk. All that was awesome. This was a fantastic issue. I'm loving the hell out of this series, and I can't recommend it enough. Go check it out. But there you go. There's Ultimate Spider-Man, issue number 15 from Marvel Comics. I hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.